He held her like a promise. On the wedding night, her eyes trusted, her soul believed. The room was filled with light. The air was filled with joy. Every whisper felt eternal, but forever changes. When the lights go dark, when the music stops playing, when the last guest walks away, no one tells you. That silence can be louder than love. No one warns you that a smile in front of people can turn into silence in private. Now, he holds his phone tighter than her hand. Now, she sleeps with her back to him. Now, their walls speak louder than their words. The world saw a wedding, but no one saw what followed. The pictures captured the laughter, but the nights captured the tears. He promised her forever, but forever isn't one night. Forever is every night after, and every night after hurts a little more. The hall was full of applause, but the home is full of silence. The stage was filled with flowers, but the bed is filled with distance. The cameras flash joy, but no camera ever captures the quiet wounds of marriage. She wonders. When did his voice grow quiet? He wonders. When did her smile grow cold? But no one asks, no one answers, and the silence grows louder every single night. This is where the pain begins. Not in shouting, not in betrayal, but in the little things left unsaid, in the hands that no longer hold, in the eyes that no longer meet, in the distance no one prepares you for. No one prepares you for what comes after the celebration. The music stops, the laughter fades, the guests leave, and suddenly the room is empty. You stand there, surrounded by gifts, by flowers, by photographs, and yet your heart feels hollow. Your soul feels heavier than it ever did before. Did anyone tell you that marriage is quiet before it is loud? That the real work begins, not with vows, but with silence. At first, you try to speak. You reach out with words. But his eyes are elsewhere, his hands elsewhere. And slowly, you stop asking. You stop hoping. And then, the walls start to whisper. The empty spaces between you grow taller. The laughter that once carried the night now echoes in memory alone. You wonder if this is how it was meant to feel. He wonders if this distance will ever close. But no one talks about this. No one prepares you for nights where the bed feels too wide, for mornings where your hand reaches and finds only air. You remember the wedding, the dress, the music, the vows. You remember the crowd, the smiles, the congratulations, the promise of forever. But you forget that marriage is lived in ordinary moments, and the ordinary moments are heavy, quietly heavy. This is the hidden wound, the wound that cannot be seen by friends, by family, by anyone, the wound that grows in silence. She wonders why her heart beats with anxiety. He wonders why he feels a pang of guilt he cannot name. And the world outside keeps spinning. The world outside only sees the photos, the smiles, the perfection no one sees, the quiet despair of the bedroom, the unspoken tears in the pillow, the distance in the shared gaze. Did anyone tell you that love sometimes hides behind exhaustion? That mercy sometimes waits for a heart to breathe? That what looks like indifference is sometimes the weight of unspoken fear? You try to talk, he tries to listen, but the words stumble, the sentences falter, and silence wins. For now, the first arguments are invisible. The first hurts are invisible. The first betrayals of attention, of love, are invisible, and this invisibility is what makes the pain so sharp. You are both in the same house, yet worlds apart. Your hands brush, and yet do not hold. Your eyes meet, and yet do not connect. And slowly, slowly, you start to believe that the honeymoon was all there was, that the promises, the laughter, the joy was just a beginning that ended too soon. But this is not the end. This is the first chapter, the chapter that teaches you how fragile love can feel when ignored, how heavy silence can be, and how necessary mercy is. It is here, in these early days, that the real test begins. Not in fights, not in anger, but in noticing, in holding, in choosing to stay, when the world feels distant and quiet. And so, she closes her eyes at night and prays silently that the love they promised will find its way back. He prays in his own way that the distance is only temporary, because this is marriage, not the wedding, not the celebration, but the nights, the mornings, the quiet, the invisible moments. This is where patience begins, where mercy is learned, where love is tested, and if you survive this together, then perhaps, forever will not be just a word. Sign 1, words that fade. He stopped saying, I love you. She stopped waiting for the words to return. Silence filled the spaces where promises once lived. Once, words were easy. Now every sentence feels heavy. The air is thick with what is not said. Sign 2, distance in sleep. She sleeps facing the wall. He turns toward the window, 2 bodies under one roof, 2 worlds apart. Even the quietest night hums with absence. Even the softest pillow carries the weight of separation. Sign 3, conversations that evade. He talks to everyone, but not to her. The stories of the day spill everywhere, except across the table, where she waits. She listens silently, wondering if the words were ever meant for her. He thinks he is busy, but the silence between them grows louder than any conversation. Sign 4, tears that go unseen. Her tears fall quietly, like rain on a roof no one notices. He feels guilty, but hides it behind a smile. Neither confronts the storm within the other. 5, arguments without words. They argue more in their minds than in their voices. Every glance carries judgment. Every sigh carries resentment. Every heartbeat carries distance. Words could heal, but silence is easier. Sign 6, touch that feels empty. A brush of a hand, a hug, a kiss. Everything feels lighter than it used to. The warmth is gone, the intent missing. Touch becomes a reminder, not a comfort. Sign 7, shared space, separate worlds. They occupy the same room, but their thoughts are miles apart. The kitchen, the living room, the bedroom, all feel like different planets, where they never meet. Sign 8, laughter, that no longer includes she laughs at a memory, a joke, a thought. He smiles. Somewhere else, the laughter once shared now falls in different corners of the house. What was once a bridge becomes a wall. Sign 9, dreams left unspoken. They lie awake at night, each thinking of dreams they never voiced, plans left unsaid, desires untouched, hopes fading quietly, and no one reaches across the void. Sign 10, the weight of unnoticed efforts. She does everything, and he barely notices. He tries, but she feels unseen. The smallest acts become invisible. The largest gestures fade into routine. Love survives only if it is noticed. Why the pain begins. Cause 1. Unrealistic expectations. They told you marriage was perfection. They showed you pictures, smiles, laughter. They whispered that love would never fade. But perfection is a photograph. Reality is the quiet morning, the tired eyes, the unnoticed effort. The heart expects fireworks, but the soul lives in shadows. Cause 2. Emotional needs ignored. He wants rest. She wants connection. He thinks silence is peace. She thinks silence is distance. Love is spoken in gestures, in words, in presence. And when these are missing, hearts begin to ache. Cause 3. Small neglects grow. A forgotten good morning, a missed smile, a hand not held. Small neglects pile quietly until the mountain of distance is all that remains. Cause 4. Disconnection from intimacy. They share the same space, but not the same heart. They share the same bed, but not the same warmth. Intimacy is more than touch. It is presence, attention, curiosity, and without it, even love feels empty. Cause 5. Unspoken expectations. He assumes she understands. She assumes he notices. Neither speaks. The assumptions become walls, the silence, the storm. Cause 6. Forgetting mercy. They promised forever, but forgot the small acts of mercy, a smile, a soft word, a shared laugh. Mercy is the quiet glue of marriage, and without it, love slowly drifts away. Cause 7. Overthinking and silent resentment. Every glance is measured, every word is questioned, every silence becomes a storm in the mind. The heart grows tired, the soul restless, and love waits in shadows, unheard. Cause 8. Life interrupts love. Work, screens, obligations. The world demands attention, and the heart is left behind, quietly waiting, hoping, aching. Cause 9. Love forgotten in routine. The routine becomes louder than romance. The mundane drowns the extraordinary. Love, once a fire, flickers quietly under exhaustion. Cause 10. The invisible test. Marriage begins with vows, but continues in silence. Every unnoticed gesture, every quiet tear, every small act of neglect. This is the invisible test, and only those who notice, who choose mercy, who hold, survive its weight. Step 1. Awareness and acknowledgement. The mind holds what the heart ignores. Psychologists say acknowledgement is the first step in healing. Notice the silence. Name the pain. Sit with it. Do not pretend it isn't there. In the heart of marriage. Awareness is mercy in disguise. Step 2. Communication and expression. Psychology shows couples who share feelings, even small ones, heal faster. The prophet, peace be upon him, said, "Speak softly, even in disagreement." Gentle words can bridge silent chasms. Tell your spouse what weighs on your heart, even if the voice trembles, even if the words falter. Step 3. Touch and presence. Psychologists call touch a silent language of reassurance. Even a hand on the shoulder, a brush of the hair, releases oxytocin, the hormone of connection and trust. Islam reminds us. The Prophet valued gentle gestures, smiles, presence in daily life. Small touches can heal mountains of distance. Step 4. Du'a and reflection. Prayer shifts the heart. Psychologists call it mindful reflection. Du'a softens resentment. Du'a strengthens patience. Even a silent whisper to Allah. Guide my heart, guide my spouse, strengthen our bond, can turn nights of silence into nights of hope. Step 5. Acts of gratitude. Psychology proves gratitude rewires the brain. Seeing small acts shifts focus from pain to appreciation. Islam guides us to remember blessings in our spouse, to thank them for their efforts, seen and unseen, a kind word, a cup of tea, a smile. These are acts of healing. Step 6. Sabre and consistency. Patience is not passive. Psychology calls it emotional regulation. Consistent effort builds resilience in love. Allah reminds us, sabre is the key when hearts grow weary. Small daily acts, small moments of care, accumulate into mercy, into closeness, into enduring love. Step 7. Shared goals and dreams. Psychologists say shared goals strengthen connection. When hearts plan together, even quietly, they rebuild trust, hope, intimacy. Islam encourages consultation, partnership, unity. Discuss dreams, small or large, silently or openly. Every plan becomes a thread, weaving hearts together again. Step 8. Letting go of past. Hurts. Psychology calls it emotional release. Holding grudges erodes intimacy. Islam guides us, forgive softly, for Allah loves the merciful. Release the weight, even in small measures, and let love breathe freely again. Healing is quiet. Healing is invisible. Healing is patience, prayer, touch, gratitude, and mercy. If you notice, if you reach, if you pray, love can return, even when silence felt endless. The Quran never promised ease. It promised mercy, rahmah. Marriage is more than romance. It is quiet care, small gestures, unseen sacrifices. When love feels silent, pray, whisper to Allah. Guide my heart, guide theirs, strengthen us. When hearts grow tired, be patient. Sabre is not weakness. It is strength in waiting, in choosing love every day. When wounds appear, notice them, acknowledge them, heal them together. Mercy heals what words cannot. Touch reconnects what distance broke. Gratitude rebuilds what routine eroded. Prayer lights the path when hope feels dim. Marriage is a journey, not a single night, not a single vow. It is every dawn, every quiet act, every whispered dua, every moment we choose love again, even when it is hard. Revisit the vow, not just the wedding, not just the celebration, but every ordinary, quiet, invisible moment. Because there, mercy lives. There, love returns. Do not let silence steal what mercy can save. Do not wait for love to find its way back. When your hands could reach first, hold their hand tonight. Speak the words you have been afraid to say. Pray together. Laugh together. Notice. Appreciate. Forgive. Because the vows are not just for the wedding, they are for every morning, every night, every quiet moment in between. Choose love today. Choose mercy. Choose patience. Choose prayer. Choose each other before the distance grows too loud. Your marriage is not broken. It is waiting. It is waiting for your heart to show up.